It looks like there's more to Angie Stone's passing than we initially thought. Jaguar Wright just came forward with some surprising claims, saying that things aren't as simple as they seem. If you know anything about Jaguar, you already know. She's not afraid to speak her mind, especially when it comes to the secrets powerful people in the music industry want to keep hidden. This time, she's saying Angie's death wasn't just an accident. She's suggesting that some big names in the industry were involved in taking her out. What makes Jaguar's claims even more interesting is that just weeks before Angie's death, she took to social media to speak out about some serious issues. She claimed that powerful figures in the industry had been stealing from her for years, and that she was finally done staying silent. Then, suddenly, she was in a car crash, the only person involved, the only one who didn't survive. Now, Jaguar is calling foul play, and she's got a lot to say. Angie Stone was born on December 18, 1961. From a young age, music was a huge part of her life, especially gospel. Her parents raised her in a faith-driven household where gospel music wasn't just something they listened to, it was part of who they were. Angie's father was a dedicated member of a gospel quartet in Columbia, South Carolina, and he played a major role in helping her develop her love for music. He often took her to see live performances by some of the most respected gospel groups of the time, like the Singing Angels and the Gospel Keynotes. Watching those performances made her passion for music even stronger. Angie also honed her skills, singing at First Nazareth Baptist Church, where she gained confidence and refined the voice that would later make her famous. As she grew older, she didn't limit herself to gospel. She started exploring different genres and eventually became a key figure in the neo-soul movement. Her unique, soulful sound connected with audiences and influenced a whole new generation of artists, including Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Lyfe Jennings, and even Mariah Carey. But Angie's influence didn't stop there. Her contributions to hip-hop and R&B were just as important. She worked with some of the biggest names in the game, shaping the sound of the genre and leaving a mark that couldn't be erased. By the time she was just 16, she was already making history. She teamed up with Cheryl the Pearl Cook and Gwendolyn, Blondie Chisholm to form The Sequence, the first ever female hip-hop group. They caught the attention of Sugar Hill Records and quickly landed a deal, making waves with their hit Funk You Up. That song wasn't just a hit, it was legendary. It became one of the first rap records by a female group to make an impact, and years later, it was sampled by Dr. Dre. It also played a role in shaping Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars's massive hit, Uptown Funk. But despite their contributions, The Sequence never got the credit or royalties they deserved. They ended up suing Mark Ronson for copyright infringement, fighting to get recognition for the work they had put in decades earlier. Angie didn't stop pushing forward. After The Sequence, she joined the hip-hop and electro-funk group Mantronix, continuing to make her mark. Then, she stepped into the spotlight as the lead singer of Vertical Hold, giving R&B fans unforgettable tracks like Seems You're Much Too Busy. That song cemented her place in the industry and set the stage for the success she would go on to have as a solo artist. As her career evolved, Angie became not just a performer, but a talented songwriter as well. Over the years, she released 11 studio albums and gave fans hits like I Wish I Didn't Miss You, No More Rain, Brother, and I Wanna Thank You. Her talent brought her into the same rooms as legends, earning her respect as one of the most influential voices in modern music. Angie Stone had a long and influential career, but it seems like there was a lot more going on behind the scenes than most people knew. Jaguar Wright recently came forward with some shocking claims, suggesting that Angie's passing wasn't just an accident. According to Jaguar, there were powerful people in the music industry who didn't want Angie around anymore. These claims have caught a lot of attention, especially because Angie herself had been speaking out about unfair treatment just weeks before she died.
That one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. as I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that to some degree supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. You know, that's why, you know, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she said, do your own research. Angie Stone, the celebrity, that I let a lot of important things slip through the cracks only because I didn't know any better. I worked very hard to take care of my kids as a single mother, and I'm being transparent. My kids' fathers just were not doing what they're supposed to do. So I had to step up and go in and do everything that I needed to do for my family, which is why I worked so hard, which is why I traveled so much, which is why I did shows, because at the end of the day, after 40-something years in the business, I'm like, well, why? Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family. That part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. And even though they were taking care of themselves, they thought very little of taking care of me. And I know because I've seen it with my own eyes. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins.
Throughout her career, Angie worked with some of the biggest names in music. She collaborated with legends like Prince and Lenny Kravitz, and even played the saxophone for Lenny. She also formed a group with Lenny's cousin, Jerry DeVoe, called DeVoe. But one of her most important contributions to music happened behind the scenes, helping shape D'Angelo's sound. She worked on his Brown Sugar and Voodoo albums, both of which became defining moments in his career. However, despite how much she contributed to his success, she never really got the recognition she deserved. Angie and D'Angelo were also in a relationship at the time, but things weren't exactly perfect between them. Behind closed doors, their relationship was rocky and toxic. While Angie played a massive role in shaping D'Angelo's music, he never truly gave her the credit she earned. His ego wouldn't let him fully acknowledge how much she contributed, and that ultimately led to them going...
What do you mean? They want their payment. They want their pound of flesh. They want you to keep feeding the system. Doesn't matter how hard she worked for it. That's not her money. That's their money. That's what they do. They've been robbing me for years.
Yep.
They stole more money from me than they stole from Angie. I can't stop thinking about Nick Carter. And Aaron Carter. I can't stop thinking. Brother in the Illuminati, brother not in the Illuminati. Brother in the Illuminati commits all kinds of heinous crimes against women, and he's okay, but his brother's gone. And all he wanted was his money so he could push on. Like, how many of these things have to happen in front of the public? Of course they're going to attack, I'll be sure. Of course they're going to attack me. Of course they're going to attack anybody who's interested in the truth. Of course they're going to come at us really hard for that first 72 hours and make sure we stop posting, or at least get us flagged from being able to go live, so nobody thinks about the details of the fact that we just watch.
Going their separate ways. But D'Angelo wasn't the only artist who failed to properly credit Angie. She once revealed how disappointed she was when she found out that Mary J. Blige had taken a song she worked on with D'Angelo. The song Everyday was renamed Paradise and released by Mary, but Angie didn't receive the credit she was owed. And that wasn't the only time someone took advantage of her work. Jill Scott's record label had reportedly been keeping a close eye on Angie's style, watching how she carried herself and even mimicking her look to create a similar image for Jill. On top of all that, Angie's management team didn't seem to have her best interests at heart. Whether it was due to neglect or incompetence, they let a lot of opportunities slip through the cracks. One of the biggest missed chances in her career was the role in the #1 Ladies Detective Agency. That role eventually went to Jill Scott, but it was originally meant for Angie. If her team had handled things properly, she could have secured a huge acting opportunity that could have expanded her career even further. But things took an even darker turn just weeks before her passing. Angie was getting ready to take legal action against Universal Music Group, UMG, over unpaid royalties. After years of being overlooked and shortchanged, she had finally had enough. According to her, nearly everyone in her professional circle had let her down. Her management team wasn't fighting for her, and her record label was allegedly pocketing millions while she continued working without getting paid properly. She was pouring her heart and soul into her music while other people were making money off of her hard work. Now, fans are questioning whether her sudden death was connected to the legal action she was preparing to take. It wouldn't be the first time an artist mysteriously passed away after challenging the music industry's power structure. The industry has a history of silencing artists who try to fight back, and Angie was openly speaking out about what was happening to her. Some people can't help but wonder if her death was truly an accident, especially considering the circumstances of the crash. One of the most suspicious details is that she was the only victim who didn't make it. While no one is saying they wanted others to be harmed,